Every story you hear leaves a lesson behind. This is Story Times. A world hidden behind an old door. No one noticed the door at first. It stood at the far end of an abandoned building on the edge of the city, half swallowed by vines, dusted with decades of neglect. The building itself was scheduled for demolition, just another forgotten structure in a world that moved too fast to look back. But the door was different. It was old, older than the building. Its wood was dark and cracked like dried earth after a long drought, and strange symbols were carved into it, symbols no one could quite understand. The handle was cold iron, heavy, and shaped like a twisted branch. And for reasons no one could explain, the door was always locked. Except today, Io discovered it by accident. He was 17, curious by nature, the kind of boy who asked too many questions and never accepted simple answers. Life hadn't been kind to him. His father was gone. His mother worked endlessly just to keep the lights on, and the world often felt like a narrow hallway with no exit. So when he wandered into the abandoned building while escaping the noise of the city, he wasn't looking for trouble. He was looking for quiet. Dust hung in the air as sunlight slipped through broken windows. The place smelled of rust and old memories. Io moved carefully, his footsteps echoing. Then he saw at the door, at the end of the corridor. Something about it pulled him closer. As he reached out, a strange warmth ran through his fingers. The handle turned easily. That was the first sign something was wrong. The door creaked open slowly, releasing a soft wind that didn't belong inside a sealed building. Light poured out, not white, not yellow, but a deep glowing blue, like the sky just before dawn. Io froze. His mind screamed run, but his feet stepped forward. The moment he crossed the threshold, the world behind him vanished. The air changed. It smelled clean, alive. He found himself standing on a grassy hill, under a sky painted with colors he had no names for. Violet clouds drifting lazily, golden birds soaring silently. In the distance, cities floated in the air, held aloft by glowing roots that stretched down into the land like veins. Io's heart pounded. "This isn't real," he whispered. "Real enough," a voice replied. He turned sharply. A tall figure stood nearby, cloaked in silver fabric that shimmered like water. The figure's eyes glowed softly, not threatening, but ancient. "Welcome," the figure said. "You found the world behind the door." Io swallowed. "Where am I?" "You are in Elendor," the figure replied. "A world hidden from yours. A world that exists because your world forgot how to dream." Io laughed nervously. "This has to be a dream." The figure smiled sadly. "That's what most of you say." As they walked, Io learned the truth. Long ago, Elendor and Earth were connected. Humans could pass freely between both worlds. Elendor fed on imagination, courage, and hope. Things humans had in abundance. But as centuries passed, humans stopped believing. Fear replaced wonder. Greed replaced curiosity. The doors were sealed, all except one. The door only opens when someone truly needs it, the figure said. Not someone powerful, not someone rich, someone empty. Io felt the words hit deep. They reached a vast city built of crystalline stone. But it was quiet. Too quiet. Streets that should have been alive stood half empty. The glow that filled the air flickered. "Elendor is dying," the figure said. "And so is your world. You just don't see it yet." Io watched as a tower dimmed, its light fading like a dying star. "Why show me this?" he asked. "Because you can still walk between worlds," the figure replied. And because every door demands a choice, that night, if time even existed there, Io stayed in Elendor. He met its people, children who shaped light with their hands, elders who spoke to the wind, warriors who fought not with weapons, but with will. Yet behind every smile was fear. Something was coming. From the cracks between worlds, shadows had begun to leak in. Creatures formed from despair and forgotten dreams. They fed on hopelessness. Elendor was their first target. "You can go back," the figure told Ao as the sky darkened unnaturally. "Or you can stay and help us fight. But if you stay, the door may never open for you again." Io thought of his life back home. The small room, the endless struggle, the feeling that his existence barely mattered. For the first time, he felt needed. "I'll stay," he said quietly. The first battle came without warning. The sky tore open like fabric, and shadows poured down, twisting and screaming. Elendor's people stood their ground, summoning light, shaping hope into shields and blades. Io didn't know how to fight until fear struck him, and then something inside him ignited. He remembered every moment he felt invisible, every time he was told he wouldn't amount to anything, every dream he buried to survive. The air around him glowed, light wrapped around his hands, raw and unstable, but powerful. He pushed forward, screaming, not in anger, but defiance. The shadows recoiled. "You see?" the figure shouted. "Your world trained you for this without knowing." The battle lasted until the sky healed itself. Elendor survived, but barely. Days passed, or weeks. Time blurred. Io grew stronger. He learned to shape light, to heal cracks in the land. But each time he looked at the horizon, he felt a pull, a reminder of the door. One evening, the figure found him standing alone. "The door is opening," the figure said. For the last time, Io's chest tightened. "Why?" "Because Elendor doesn't just need a fighter anymore," the figure replied. "It needs a bridge." Io returned to the door. When he stepped through, he was back in the abandoned building. Dust. Silence. The almost city noise faint in the distance. But something had changed. The door behind him crumbled into ash. In the days that followed, Ao noticed strange things. Children began dreaming vividly again. Artists painted things they couldn't explain. People spoke of hope with unfamiliar confidence. And Io, wherever he went, inspiration followed. He told stories, not of Elendor directly, but of courage, of hidden worlds, of doors that appear when life feels unbearable. People listened. They believed. And somewhere beyond sight, Elendor began to glow again. Years later, when the building was finally demolished, workers swore they felt a strange wind rush past them, warm and familiar. And sometimes, only sometimes, someone walking past the empty lot would pause, because for a split second, they could swear they saw the outline of an old door.
Thank you for spending this moment with Story Times. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more meaningful stories. Until next time, remember every story teaches a lesson,